Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row I'll refer to as High Vibe Pisces energy, and the bottom row is a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy, because we all have our dualistic nature, and we all have to make decisions in our life, and we kind of battle within ourselves. In our high vibe energy of hope and faith and belief in ourselves and in love, we could want to make certain decisions in our life. But then in our more worldly nature and shadowy nature of fear and insecurity or pride or ego, it could hold us back from making some decisions in our life. And that's what could be going on in some people's lives. Some people have finished the debate and they're already moving forward differently in life. The truth sets us free. We heal, we grow, we mature, we expand our perception of ourselves and the world around us, and we live life differently. And sometimes when we live life differently, some other people in our life might not be living life differently, or we could be happy living our life the way we're living it right now, and other people are moving forward. So, we're all ready to move forward at different times in our life, and we're going to read this from a couple different perspectives. So we all tap into Pisces energy. It's our emotional, intuitive nature and about our dreams. And so listen to your intuition about where you might be in the story, where some other people in your life might be at in the story, and we'll go from there. Let me get one more card out for the bottom row. Okay. Okay, in the top row it has the Patience card and the Garden and the Gate. So the Patience card is about learning lessons in life, and some people might be spending some time just doing the inner work. This shows a young girl. The feminine figures can talk about our emotions and our feelings. So we could be doing work just to feel abundant within ourselves. And then the Garden and the Gate talks about when we're ready and listening to our intuition about when we're ready to step out and feel kind of abundant and stable and grounded within ourselves, that we're ready to kind of take that out in the world. And then the card that follows that is the Door to Spirit of, again, listening to your intuition, having hope and faith and belief in your dreams. That, the best thing I would say is just to be authentically yourself, treat other people the way you like to be treated. People are going to like you or not like you. Then, like always, kind of based more on what's going on within them. All we can do is put our best foot forward. So I think it's best if we just do that in our life, because otherwise we can get caught up all in our fear and our insecurity and trying to people please in the bottom row and trying to get people to like you or view you a certain way. Just go live your authentic life, and the people who are on the same page as that will appreciate it, and the people who don't are the people who wouldn't have anyway. So let's continue with the top row. We have the Angel of Balance, again, like the Patience card. It's listening to our intuition, being inspired, maintaining balance within ourselves, not allowing ourselves to tip out of balance in indulging poor behavior in ourselves or others. We maintain balance. And then we have the World card about maybe even trying to inspire the world. The Angel of Balance and the Temperance card is Sagittarius energy, which is about higher learning and education. And high vibe energy is about being a leader in the world. So it could be trying to inspire the world, but also as we do this work inside of ourselves to love and believe in ourselves, and then we go out in the world being inspired more by truth and love and hope and faith and belief in the world. The world also talks about closing out an old cycle in our life. We have done the inner work within ourselves to close out an old phase of living life and viewing life. And then the overarching reason for the reading is the fifth chakra, which is the throat chakra, which is Taurus energy, which is about our philosophy of life. People could have lived their life at a certain way of living life, viewing life, feeling about themselves, whatever it was. And they've done this inner work to heal or grow or something within themselves, to believe in themselves, to maybe just be their more authentic self in the world. And that high vibe Taurus energy is about being someone who walks the talk. that you are who you present yourself as being. You've done the inner work. You're not wearing a false mask. You are treating other people the way you like to be treated. You're treating people with love and respect and encouragement. And also ready to, Taurus can represent all those different institutions of the world, workplaces, friendships, relationships, marriages. Closing out one way of viewing life and living life to, now that you've done this inner work, moving forward in life differently. And at the very end, we have a card not showing itself. And that could be an energy that people could have used to harness in a more worldly way, that now they harness in a more high vibrational way, and that can be the change. And when we quit aligning with that energy in a more shadowy way, we kind of disconnect from some people in our life who still might be aligning with that in a more shadowy way because we don't anymore. And that could have been kind of the factor that made us stay in relationships with some people. What is it? Victory. Okay, so I view the Victory card as kind of like a Six of Wands card. Some of you could have been dealing with a Leo. The Six of Wands is Leo energy, but what it can mean is just that before you could have been living your life, letting your more worldly egoic nature run your life. I want people to view me this way. I have to do this so people view me that way. It could have been being defensive. It could have been letting, not letting your more authentic nature run your life and kind of hiding behind a mask. Because the reason for the bottom rose reading is hostilities, which can be a person still has some pain, heartbreak, self-limiting beliefs, things like that, that they're still haven't healed from. So they're still defensive and have mental conflict about maybe just listening to their intuition, being more bold and brave and confident in the world, really speaking their truth. And some people got out of their ego about some, it's when we all want to change our life and live our life differently, it can be challenging because we do have to speak our truth. And we have to stand up for what we believe in. Like, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's just. And some people could still be defensive because they're not ready to speak their truth. And we've all been there before. But when we do this work within ourselves, we kind of get out of our ego about being willing to speak our truth. And the Six of Wands in the Victory card can be that maybe there is something we'd have to let go of that at one time we had viewed victoriously. Like, I had a certain job, or I was in a relationship, and by worldly standards, it could have looked really successful, but maybe the people I was in a relationship with were hostile. Maybe, the hostilities card is like the Five of Swords. Maybe dealing with people who have a lot of mental conflict, and maybe they don't ever do this work to figure out why are they so defensive to just even being more authentically themselves, harnessing high vibe Leo energy. High vibe Leo being warm, being loving, being just, being fair, treating other people the way you like to be treated. Some people can be hostile to that because shadowy energy can be where I'm trying to manipulate and control you for some reason, instead of being open and just and fair and treating you like I like to be treated. Some people don't like to treat other people the way they like to be treated. You're supposed to keep not knowing your worth and value, being defensive. You're supposed to stay in a relationship or at this job with people acting in some shadowy ways, and they don't want you to love and believe in yourself. And we all could have stayed in jobs, friendships, and relationships with people because we weren't harnessing high vibe Leo energy. We were in our fear or insecurity or willing to stand up for ourselves and what we believed in. But, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And when we're ready to stand up and speak our truth, that I want to move forward. The worldly shadowy energy can be where we do feel kind of limited and restricted and confined and oppressed and imprisoned. And maybe we're not, able to be authentically ourselves because the way we would live our life versus how some people we could be in a relationship with live their life. If they're not more authentically themselves, they don't want you to be more authentically yourself. The reason for the top rose reading coming out is also because of the Taurus energy. So you could have found out that you were in relationships with people who your philosophy of life is different. And then you get in a relationship with someone and they're kind of defensive to change, maybe defensive to truth and love and justice and fairness and or acting with character and integrity or just being more authentically themselves in the world. And they might like to hide behind their more defensive egoic nature, and it can be making their life more about these things of the world. And if that's how they view life, that could be how they want you to view life. And then you feel kind of limited and restricted in that relationship because you don't make your life all about those things of the world. Those aren't the driving factor in your life. It's about, I listen to my intuition. I let love guide me. I hang out with people and I go do things because it motivates and inspires me. And I like those people, and other people could be like, well, we don't talk to those people. We don't do those things. We only do those things if these people do those things. Shadowy Taurus can be all these rules and regulations like that people can live their life by instead of just living their more authentic life. And that would be high vibe Leo versus a more shadowy Leo, shadowy Taurus, shadowy Pisces, Some people are happy making their life all about the world. I don't want to step outside my comfort zone. I don't want to be a leader in the world. I don't want to encourage other people in the world. I don't want to be more authentically myself. I'm happy living my life, kind of letting my ego maybe run my life and making my life about status or ego or image. And you can get in relationships with people like that, and it can cause you a lot of mental conflict because it does seem so restrictive and confining. Let's go look at the bottom row. We have All Tied Up in reverse, and the Thinking Woman, 2 cards not showing themselves, and the 4th chakra, which is the heart. We all have free will to decide what our truth is. The Thinking Woman is like the Queen of Swords. But there are some people, 2 cards of like Aquarius energy, that instead of like being a guiding light in the world and walking the talk, some people just like to present themselves as someone who walks the talk, has a lot of status or image or whatever in the world, but they don't really walk the talk. I might like to do all these things to make it look like I'm this pillar of society, but I'm defensive to love. Because love is what really makes... Am I really acting from my heart? Or am I operating more from my egoic nature, defensive nature, prideful nature, self-centered nature? The All Tied Up card is like the 8 and 9 of Swords, which is Gemini energy, which is about our free will choice to choose what we want to build our life upon. Hope and faith and belief and love, or more about our defensive nature and our egoic nature and our worldly nature. And there can be some people in our life that they free willingly choose, they're still kind of defensive to love. I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. And my truth is, how I want to keep moving forward in life, is I'm either more about themselves, I'm defensive, to love. I want people to be in a relationship with me. I want to look like I'm a shining star. I want to look like I have what other people have, but I'm defensive to listening to love and intuition to guide me. And as long as they stay defensive to love and intuition guiding their decisions, they're going to keep making decisions more from their mind than their heart. Let's go look at what these two cards are. Happy family and financial constraints. Some people could be living their life where what they'd really like to do in their life, they could feel like they wouldn't have enough status or image or money. And so because of that, they're rejecting what they would maybe really like to do in a career field or even how they'd like to go live their life. Because they could feel like, well, if I were to really go live my authentic life, you know, there would be other people wouldn't maybe view me a certain way. And I mean, it's hard to believe, but there's people out there. It's all about how they define themselves is based on how they want other people to view them. And that can be what's most important to them. So even though there is people that I would, and a career field and everything that I'd like to go do, I'm not going to go do it. There's people I'd like to be in a relationship with. I won't be in a relationship with them. Just because, you know, we're either manipulated by our fear and our insecurity and our ego, or we're living our authentic life. High vibe energy is about being free to live your authentic life. Some people could be have grown up in families. The financial constraints is like the Five of Pentacles, which is also Taurus energy. They could have grown up in families that are very much against living your authentic life, being a spiritual leader in the world, aligning with your more emotionally intuitive nature. It could be we are supposed to live our life living more from our mind than our heart. We are supposed to make these things most important because that will give us the certain status and image, and that's the most important thing they could feel in this world. You know, high vibe people want stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life too. They just don't make those the most important thing in their life. Love is kind of the driving factor. I'm always going to put work and effort to have stability and security, but I also want loving, meaningful, authentic relationships. Some people don't even want authentic relationships. It's more, I have to have a certain image and status. I need people to view me a certain way. And the most important thing is for people to view me a certain way. I need to look like a shining star in the world. And that's where their heart lies. People need to view me a certain way. And that's the most important thing to them, instead of living their authentic life. And for some of them, they could have been moving forward at one time, aligned with their truth, and people that were aligned with truth and love, and that was the driving factor. And they could have let those people go because that's not their truth. It could have been their truth in free will if they would have been willing to figure out why they're so defensive to being more authentically themselves in the world. But it does mean you do have to look at life from a higher perspective in Aquarius energy, that there is more to this world than just your status and your ego and your image and how much money you have. And just some people haven't learned that yet. And they might even feel left out in the cold from the life they could have lived and the people they could have moved forward with in life. But as long as they keep being defensive more to being authentic, or defensive to loving and believing in themselves, they're going to keep defending this way of living their life. Some people could be in a mismatched relationship right now where one person is being very patient, hoping someone else one day will get out of their ego or their stubborn nature or their defensive nature. And the other person's like, I'm not in a mental prison about it. This is my truth, and this is how I'm going to live my life. And then people have to decide, you know, we can have people in our life, whether they're brothers or sisters or adult children or parents or whatever, that we can love, but are we going to keep our dream doesn't come into reality because they refuse to change? And then we see the truth of it. I shouldn't try to change people. The Five of Swords comes after the Three of Swords and the Four of Swords of, this is causing me some pain and heartbreak. I know this person wants to keep moving forward in this more worldly philosophy of life. This is what drives and motivates them. That is not the driving factor in my life. I'm more maybe creative and inspired and wanting to live more my authentic life and not have all these unwritten rules that I have to abide by, that they abide by. And I think life's about being free. Life's an adventure to be lived. We're meant to live our authentic life, but some people are very, and then other things that can manipulate people where they're not very loving or walking the talk. Shadowy energy can also be addictions and things. And some people are addicted to money and materialism as their drug. That's what they are sure will make them happy, other than love. And then people can be in a situation that, how we want to move forward is different. What you like to invest your time, energy, and effort into that you find fulfilling is different than what I find emotionally fulfilling. And then there could be some people right now, and like some people did, they had to speak their truth and stand up for themselves. I can love you and let you go live your life and wish you peace, see you at Christmas, but I'm going to go live my life, and I might not be hanging around you too much because shadowy energy can be to where people are defensive and they don't want to see the truth. Shadowy Aquarius, shadowy Taurus, shadowy Pisces can be people who kind of have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship or a friendship or how to conduct themselves in a workplace. It might make them happy, but they could be kind of egotistical and self-centered. Everybody, they're like the star of the show. Everybody else is supposed to put aside their pride and ego in the relationship, but never them. They shouldn't ever have to budge. The Five of Pentacles is about learning lessons in life, that we had a way of viewing life, and we see some things that aren't conducive to a relationship moving forward in like a just and fair and loving way. And some people are like, I'm not doing that. This is how I view life. You're supposed to stay working here or being in a friendship or relationship with me. And we do it this way. Well, some people will do that. Some people are still defending it. Some people are sad. They're not going to go live their authentic life. Maybe because they don't love and believe in themselves or aren't willing to speak their truth. Okay, well then they keep defending this. And other people are like, love is supposed to be just and fair. You're supposed to treat other people the way you want to be treated. And I don't feel like you treat me in a just and fair way. I feel like you try to limit me and restrict me and confine me and imprison me. And it's like they keep wanting people to be patient, to not listen to their intuition in the door to spirit. And we were given our intuition as a gift that, throughout our life we're meant to grow and heal and mature so we can grow to our full potential. And some people are like, if I have the things of the world, I'm good. Their intuition could be screaming at them, and they're like, nope, not going to do it, not going to do it. So they're not going to grow to their full potential and be more authentically themselves. They might end up with a lot of status, ego, and image and look like a shining star in the world. And other people are like, I just can't make those things of the world the driving factor in their life, and they're willing to let go of something that by worldly standards looks victorious because it's oppressive and confining and limiting and restricting in an unloving way. You're either being truthful and honest and just and fair in a relationship, or you're trying to manipulate and control people. And some people don't want to see the truth that they try to manipulate and control people. Instead of loving people and encouraging people to grow to their full potential. Let's go see what's coming up. For people, and we've all been, we get in relationships and kind of in high vibe, we're doing this, but we all have to keep looking at life from a higher perspective to keep letting love be the driving factor. And even though it can be scary and it can get us up in our defensive nature, we know that it would probably be fear or insecurity or self-limiting beliefs or something, or being stubborn, wanting it our way or the highway, that would cause us to not keep moving forward with loving, encouraging people in our life. And so even when we're in loving and encouraging relationships, in our shadow nature, we can all kind of be defensive to it because we all had this idea of how we thought things were supposed to play out, because we all have our own ideas about those things. And we need to work through those in truth and love and speak our truth in love and communicate with the people in our life some fears and insecurities we can have that, this feels a little outside my comfort zone. Can we take some time for me to kind of work through some of my defensiveness that I have to keep moving forward in this way? And then, we work cooperatively together. But all of us could want things to be the way we want it. And when we work together with other people, it challenges us to step out of our comfort zone. And if people listen to love and looking at life from a higher perspective, quit being so defensive to change, then we're all able to kind of keep moving forward together. Some people a little couple steps ahead than some other people, but eventually we kind of all keep moving forward. But there are going to be some people who aren't, and that sometimes can be people who kind of get stuck in a time warp. I like the 1960s lifestyle. This is how I view life. This is how I view relationships. And they're waiting to find someone who views life the same way they do and is willing to maybe make their life more about the things of the world, or them make their life more about that person only. Well, then they'll have found someone who's on the same page as them. What's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? Judgment, 5 of Wands. Why? Because of the King of Wands. So, for the first 30, 40 years of our life, we can all be really inspired by the things of the world and putting in work and effort to look victorious and successful in the world. And sometimes for some people, that's more of a priority. And I think getting online with our more being fired up in our fiery nature, that there's more to the world than just these things of the world, is when, because Sagittarius is also fire sign energy and Leo is fire sign energy. The things I used to view as victorious and the things I wanted to go indulge my time, energy, and effort into has changed because of all this life experience I've went through. And now it's no longer about how other people view me. It's about how I want to authentically live my life. And calling judgment on the competition, which the competition could be our more shadowy nature, and being more inspired by our shadowy nature. Or shadowy Aries is about the self, where we're more about ourself. It's supposed to be more about me and my wants and my needs and my lust and my greed and my pride and my ego. And other people have gotten over it. And now they're harnessing high vibe Leo, high vibe Aries, and that's what some people don't know about you. Other people could still be more about the competition and trying to prove a point and look what I'm doing in my life and look how victorious and successful I am. And other people are like, that's great for you. I hope you're enjoying your life. But, I'm not in that competitive energy. I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not trying to present an illusion about how wonderful my life is. I'm just going and living my authentic life. I've changed. The fives can talk about change. I want to go live my authentic life, and I'm going to listen to my intuition where it leads me and living my truth. Other people are so busy trying to compete with everybody and look like a shining star and have people view them a certain way or make it look like their life is so wonderful. But just living their life like that can cause them a lot of mental conflict because it's more about trying to create this image than living their authentic truth. They might even be in jobs and friendships and relationships with people they don't even want to be in relationships with, just to try to look like they're this shining star in the world. Look how wonderful my life is. Are you with people who inspire you and motivate you to love and believe in yourself? You know, just like we have our dualistic nature, we have the different people in our world we can hang out with. Some people are hanging out with other people in their life who don't want them to heal and grow and mature themselves and believe in themselves and live their authentic life. I want you to stay back here because I live my life like this, so then I want you to live your life like that. And until those people realize that some of the people they're hanging out with really don't have their best interests. But if they're unwilling to detach, is kind of what the Five of Pentacles talks about, and high vibe energy is about being more independent, speaking your truth, living your truth. Until they're willing to do that, they'll keep being manipulated by their own worldly nature, their own defensive nature, and other people in their life that are happy. They make their life more about those things of the world, letting them manipulate them and control them. And you could have seen that also when in relationships with some people, that some people have a lot of outside influences that manipulate them, and they're not independent of those people. And some of those people that aren't very independent could see some other people moving forward in their life, living their authentic life, but they're unwilling to speak their truth. And it's kind of like, unless the other people in their life, whether that's a friend group or an original family group or something, is willing to go live their life like that, they're not willing to. Because they're not willing to be independent, and they could be an adult, 50 or 60-year-old, but they're still very codependent on the world or other people in their life as for their sense of stability and security within themselves, even if they're just siblings and stuff like that, instead of living their more authentic life. And other people are calling judgment on them. And some of them you just found to be very competitive and bossy and controlling in your life. And you call judgment on them. And their truth isn't your truth. So you're closing out a cycle. You don't view that job or that friendship or relationship as victorious. And you're moving forward being bold and brave and confident in your life. What's coming up for some people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy that they might not see coming up? Two cards not showing themselves because of the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles can be where it's kind of unbudging. I have a way of viewing life. The Ten of Pentacles is the maximum in the suit of Pentacles. We go through phases of life. Like when we were 18 to 21, we kind of learned all these different lessons from 18 to 21. And then it's to look through the things that we should let go of that are now restricting us from moving forward more like a 21 and 25-year-old. But we have to let go of some of those old ways of viewing life, living life, to go to the next phase of life, to face our fears, to be bold and brave and confident that we can conquer like the next level of the video game of life. And some people are unwilling to let go of it. They have this way of living life, and they're going to keep living their life that way because there's nothing, they're defensive to letting anything go. And because they're not willing to stand up for themselves and love themselves, to face their fears that I can let go of some of these old ways of looking at life or viewing relationships or viewing myself. But I'd have to have some more hope and faith and belief in myself. I'd have to get out of my defensive nature, my egoic nature. I'd have to let go of an old way of living life in Taurus energy, that this is the way to live life and this is the way people should live their life. We live our life kind of at different state phases, and we view life differently because we've learned lessons along the way. But in the world card, you have to be willing to even admit you had lessons to learn. You have to get out of your ego. And some people are unwilling to do that. And because of that, some other people become defensive to them, and those people leave because these people are unwilling to budge. Yeah. And the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, some people they could have married, some people that were nurturing and loving are no longer going to be in their life because they're so unwilling to budge. You know, it's like if people make their original family or their friend group their primary loyalty in their life, well, it ends up the people they do get in relationships with or marry end up feeling like a third party in the relationship because they let these other people have so much influence in their life because they're codependent on them and aren't more independent. And then they have people that don't want to keep staying in a relationship with them. Why do you let those people dictate your life so much and manipulate you? You know, why are you not willing to be more independent and just live your authentic life? And so then people get out of relationships with them. And right now, some of the people that have been acting kind of defensive and shadowy in a relationship could have some high vibe people leave their life because those people harness high vibe Virgo energy. Shadowy Virgo is more about the world or themself. High vibe Virgo is about life's about learning lessons in life. And I've learned everything I was meant to learn. It's time to let go of some things and go to the next phase of life and add to our foundation of our philosophy of life. And some people are just unwilling to do that. So some people are going to quit investing in some people in their world, and they're going to move on. And if these people can find someone who is willing to stay in a relationship with them, maybe out of their own fears or insecurities or their own want to look like a shining star in the world, and if being in a relationship with this person would make them look like they've got it going on, then it's not because emotionally, because of love, it's more because of money and materialism. And for some people, they're okay with that because that's the driving factor in their life. And they want maybe someone who makes that the driving factor in their life too, because love isn't the driving factor in their life. Being creative and inspired and loving isn't how they want to live their life. And if they can find someone else who's willing to do it, then that would be a just and fair relationship. I just think they might have a hard time finding someone they could have love for them, but they want to go on this journey of love, not a journey of defensiveness, or it has to be your way or the highway, or it has to be all about you. You know, there's no spark of creativity and love. It's just, this makes logical, practical sense. We should do this. Well, you can get in a relationship with people and be in a relationship with them for quite a long time, just like you can stay in a job for a long time. The pay is well, blah, blah, blah. But nothing ever changes. Nobody ever grows and heals and matures themselves. Nobody's really speaking their truth. Nobody's being encouraging and supportive. How long do you even want to stay in a job with people who are like that? So there you go, Pisces. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.